Well, Mr. Logan said, raise your hand if you wrote a letter. I wrote a letter. Well, congratulations to all of you for getting that funding released, because, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty in Washington, and they weren't planning to release it if they hadn't heard from folks like y'all. So it was your advocacy, your education. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, got you.
That really helped to make that happen. So that's quite a victory when we heard that news this morning. I just want to thank you all for being in my district. Thank you, Mr. President, for bringing the group here to the heart of District 1. You know, we need the business, so we're glad you're here. Tourism is being hurt by the things that are going on in Washington with the big, bad, beautiful bullshit bill that they just passed. Don't tell my mother I use those words, but I think in this case they're accurate. But you know, you've got the uncertainty, you've got the tariffs, you've got the rhetoric that insults our allies. I mean, people from Canada used to be a big source of our tourism, and they're not coming. And it takes a lot to make a Canadian mad, because they're such nice people, and we have managed to do it. You can't really blame them. So as our tourism industry goes down, unemployment goes up, tax revenue goes short, and where do the cuts come? The state legislature then has to look at how it's going to fund education, and that's got to be at the top of the list. I think you heard from our Clark County school superintendent earlier today. She had been at the state level, and I'm sure she was talking about the shortage of teachers that we have here in Southern Nevada, the lack of the grant money, if that hadn't been released, some of the Title I, Title IX, Title II programs that would suffer. We all know that little children, if they're hungry, look at the cuts to food stamps, can't learn if they're worried about where they're going to get something to eat. So Medicaid, what a big difference that makes for health insurance for people here in Nevada. All of those cuts kind of revolve around what you all do. It takes a village, and you really are part of that village. There are different bills in Congress that I support that try to bring more revenue, try to do more training opportunities, try to invest in schools and libraries and museums, all those ancillary services. But the main thing we need to do is just repeal that big, beautiful bill, because it has so many bad parts to it, so many. If you've noticed the heat here in Nevada, it's a dry heat, they always say that, but we can be 110 degrees. Now we are the sunniest state in the country, and they are stripping back revenue for solar power. So utility bills are even going to go up. And you know, some of our old schools have a hard time cooling and heating, and now they're going to be hit from that angle. So it just never ends everywhere. But we've got to be sure that as we move forward into the fall, when they're looking at a shutdown, when they're talking about more rescissions, you know, it doesn't matter if you pass a budget or pass funding, they can turn right around and pull it right back. That's what they've been doing, and they all do what Donald Trump tells them to. And we are in a period of history that is the most anti-intellectual period that we've seen in a long time. It is just, you know, there's no real value put on education. There's no real respect given to educators. There's no real acknowledgement of facts. I heard somewhere, I think it's somewhere in the middle of the country, they wanted to change the definition of pi because it was too many decimal syllables for people to learn. Well, you know, that's great unless you're going to the moon and you miss it by a few thousand miles. You know, and look at our cultural institutions, going after the museums, attacking the Smithsonian, taking over the Kennedy Center and doing that programming so that it reflects what he likes. They're even going after the zoo. And this is somewhere you're going to be on the front lines as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country. We got to be damn sure that they tell the whole story and not just a little selected part, because that's what they want to do. So I'd hate to give you more work, but this is what we're facing. But we can do it if we work together, and y'all are such a great group. You can always count on my support, and I thank you for your help. Now, you're right here, like I said, in the heart of my district. And I know that you're having lots of important meetings, but take a little bit of time to go drop a few nickels in the slot machines. And if you lose, don't go home and say, I lost. Go home and say, I was contributing to the education of children in Nevada. Thank you so much.